Well, this Wednesday, September 9th, Queen Elizabeth II will overtake her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, as the longest-reigning British monarch. Well, she ascended the throne in 1952 at the age of just 25, with her reign stretching from the post-war era to the current age of, well, iPhones. She's worked alongside 12 British prime ministers, but has traditionally kept to a hands-off approach with politics. Now we're joined by our London correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti. Thanks for being with us, Jonathan.
Good evening.
Now, if you can give us a sense for the planned celebrations now for the Queen.
As you just said, Queen Elizabeth is Britain's 40th monarch and has seen 12 prime ministers during her reign. On Wednesday, she will be beating the record of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who reigned for 63 years and 216 days. The celebrations themselves will be interesting because Britain already celebrated her 60th year on the throne in 2012 with some elaborate official celebrations. The Queen had in fact hoped to spend Wednesday in private without making a big deal of this particular record, but by popular demand she will now break her holiday at Balmoral to open the new Borders Railway, the longest domestic railway line to be built in the UK in over a century. She is expected to make a short speech when she will probably thank her British and Commonwealth subjects for 63 years of support.
Well, the royal family seems to be very popular right now. Is there anyone who's not celebrating this?
The royal family has, in fact, picked up some support since, for example, the darker days following the death of Princess Diana, when they were relatively unpopular in polling. But the Queen is actually able to celebrate on this anniversary the fact that a YouGov poll for the Sunday Times has revealed that the current Queen has been voted the greatest monarch, ahead of Elizabeth I and Victoria. She scored 27%, which is more than the combined score of Elizabeth I on 13% and Victoria, the Queen's great-great-grandmother, on 12%. So while there are those, of course, who don't support the royal family so much, on occasions like this in particular, the nation is usually fairly proud of the Queen and quite supportive of the royal family.
So I guess we have a grasp on the cultural significance here. What about, I know that the royal family tries to stay away from this, but any political dimension at all to this?
On the contrary, in fact, the Queen is fairly noted in terms of her reign for having kept things quite boring in that regard. The British historian David Starkey last week claimed that the Queen had never done anything or said anything memorable, and that her skill had been, quote, to keep the royal show on the road. Of course, he pointed out that that was actually meant as a compliment, because this Queen's strength has been that she has kept herself out of politics and has really kept the royal family on an even keel and concentrated on the longevity of it, with a great sense of duty for the role and keeping out of politics.
Well, our London correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti, thank you very much for being with us.